everyone, Aparna here. Long awaited day for me, day 21 of my challenge. My challenge is I've been painting with acrylics on paper, something that I haven't done really, and this is the first time I am doing it. I did two small attempts on paper long time ago, but I didn't really pursue that option any further. So I thought this time I will grab one of my sketchbooks. This one is Viviva Colors Sketchbook 300 GSM watercolor paper, and this paper is slightly tinted, like it's slightly creamish yellow in color, and I have been painting with acrylics so far, and there have been certain things that I have come across, and since I'm doing acrylics after a long time, I am not sure whether it was just me trying to get back into acrylics, or is it the paper that was an issue. And certain things like the color becoming little dull, as you can see. I don't know how much you see it, but there is actually no shine on these colors. Now these paints are, I use acrylic on canvas. I have been using them for a long time, but they retain the brightness and vibrancy in the colors. Here they are kind of retaining the colors, the brightness, but I don't see the vibrancy in them. I don't see the oil like finish in them, which I see in my acrylic paints done on canvas. So I'm just assuming that this is just an effect of doing it on paper, but since I have done two tiny works on white paper, those were pretty bright and vibrant, so that made me think that maybe it's something to do with this particular toned paper or something like that. So in this one, all these paintings that you see have been done without applying gesso as a base. I have been using them just with just directly on the paper. Now I really wanted to see what happens if I apply a layer of gesso and then see how the color behaves on the paper. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply gesso on this side of the paper, and we will see how things go from there. So I'm going to use Camel brand's artist gesso. This is a white gesso, white in color. I do have a gesso that is clear gesso, but the thing is I did not want to use a clear gesso because clear gesso means I still have to face the creamy color of the paper, and that's what I have been wondering, if the dullness has got something to do with the tone color of the paper, which I don't think it should be, because we do tone canvases with a toned base. But this is a paper, and there is a possibility that the colors are getting absorbed into the paper. So let's try it. So what I'm doing is I'm using a damp brush, and I'm going to layer a fairly thin layer, because this is paper. I don't think it is going to accept a thick layer of gesso like I apply on a canvas, but I will do the best I can. I think you can see the difference here, how white the gesso is, and it is showing the creaminess of the paper in contrast. So I'm going to just apply this much, a thin layer, because I really don't know how this paper is going to buckle, or is it going to become too bad. I felt like doing a little bit of research in YouTube and on the internet, but somehow didn't feel like doing it. I thought I will do it, at least to, you know, get an idea of where the thing is going. But then, you know what? It's a sketchbook, it's a playground, so I can experiment the way I want to. So I'm not looking forward to seeing anything, you know, um, getting done, but I will experiment, and I will definitely have fun, because that's the purpose. So I just want to see. What I want to do now is, next, say, 10 pages. I have 40 pages in this um, sketchbook, and next 10 pages I will apply gesso on both sides, and I will do the painting on them, and I will see how how much difference it makes between the two paintings, with on gessoed page, without gessoed page. So we will see what happens, and I'm looking forward to making more paintings, 20 more paintings. So we will see how this goes. So I'm going to let this thing dry, and I will get back to you as soon as it gets dried up. So let's see what happens now. Wait and watch. I'm back with the gesso on this side of the paper. I applied just a few layers, like just one thin layer and a little bit more. And as you can see, the color of the paper is white now, which was really nice, to be very honest. It felt amazing, and what I'm doing right now is I am sketching out on the paper to give a kind of just decide where what goes where. And I think it was lovely, because my pencil, of course, was making a scratching kind of a noise while and I think I understood why, because of the gesso. But it definitely felt fantastic, and not only that, it was actually rubbing off much easier than it was on the paper directly, which I thought was weird. And here what you actually saw me do is I used a kneaded eraser to remove the extra graphite from the paper. I initially did start with a normal eraser, and then I realized that I don't really need to do that. I just need to remove the excess graphite with a kneaded eraser. It's soft, and it pulls all the residue from an eraser in itself. That actually doesn't even create so much of residue like a normal eraser does. So it was good. It removed all the excess graphite, which I realized, if I'm not wrong, it was not really doing that on the normal paper surface. And this was quite nice. And the moment I started applying the colors, wow, I instantly saw the difference. The colors looked really vibrant, and of course I have to agree that I do need to experiment a bit more to see how this thing goes. Initially what I was thinking was, I'm going to paint the same topic that I had on the left side, and just to see just to make a nice comparison, I had the image, the reference picture from Pixabay right in front of me. But then I thought, it's kind of hard to repeat the same thing again for me. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep the color theme the same. It's going to be subject also is going to be the same. So it's going to be forest, and they're going to be brighter trees. That's about it. So I kept in mind the color combinations. They are similar to the one on the left side, and I think this particular tree that you see me paint was the only one which actually looks pretty similar to the one on the left side. The left side you cannot exactly see right now, but anyway, apart from that, both of them are forests. They have similar colors, but I definitely felt different doing this. My brush was kind of moving easily, which I thought was very weird because paper surface is so smooth, right? But somehow it was not really working for me. But in here I was actually able to add more water, and I think because I was adding water to it, it made the brush much more smoother, because on the paper surface I think the water was getting absorbed into the paper, whereas here the water was not exactly getting fully absorbed, and that helped the brush glide on the paper. Yes, there were times when it was a bit difficult. I did not sand down the surface of the gesso because that really felt risky, because end of the day it is not a fabric, it is a paper. So I thought that was one chance I did not want to take. And since I applied a very thin layer of gesso, I when I touched it once it was dried, I realized that the gesso was quite evenly spread. So that was another reason why I decided I'm not going to um, sort of file it down with sandpaper. So I think it was good. It really felt like I was working on a canvas, which was very nice. And I kept going on with it, and the more I was spending time doing it, I could feel the difference strongly. It was how I was applying the colors that made all the difference. And more than what I was seeing, I was definitely seeing the vibrancy in the colors. This is a very limited palette, but I did see vibrancy in them, and I hope the camera is actually showing you the vibrancy. But in real, when I see the two works next to me, in front of me, while I'm doing this voice recording, I have these paintings in front of me. They look different. However, I still don't see a shine in them, but certain places I can see a slight tint of shine in them, and I think that can be because those particular layers are of colors are a little bit thicker than on the other side. But apart from that, I had a wonderful time. Let's say that I had a wonderful time painting. I was having a wonderful time on the other surface as well. But I do feel that I was struggling a bit lesser after I applied the gesso. So I think I will continue painting till the end, having applied the gesso. I think in the previous part of this video I said that I had 40 more pages. I do apologize, it's not 40 more pages, it's actually 20 more, not even 20, it's actually 10 more pages. So therefore 20 more paintings. I think I completely got that wrong. This entire sketchbook has 20 pages, and 20 pages means 40 artworks, and because I am painting on both sides of the sketchbook, so I've used up 10 pages, so 20 artworks. I am left with 10 more pages, so 20 more artworks. Boy, was that confusing. I hope I didn't confuse you guys. I'm not good with numbers. You know that by now. So, I do apologize for that, though it should have been more clearer than that. But I think you get the point. So I have 20 more artworks to do, including today's painting. Really looking forward to it. So just before doing the voiceover, what I did was I applied layers of gesso on the next two pages on both sides, and this was nice because I think what I can do is, if I can keep the, if I want to keep moving on, I don't want to get stuck, then I have to make sure I prep my surface before I start painting, because gesso needs time, and we need to make sure that it is completely dry before I attempt on painting on them. So what I've decided is that every time I paint, lucky for me, because I started on the right side of the sketchbook with applying gesso. Thereafter, every time I turn the page, I will have both sides facing me. So when I apply gesso, I will be applying gesso on both sides together. This makes life very easy because I know that the next page is already ready for the next day for me to paint, rather than having to first gesso the page, then wait for it to dry, and then coming back to it. So I've been trying my best to make my life easy. We are having holidays going on in here, so I could not really paint much other than this one. So I'm going to start working on a regular basis again from next week. So I'm hoping I'll have more videos to share with you guys, and to show you my process, and hope that it inspires you to start with your own journey. And I'm having a fantastic time, guys. I don't know how to explain this. It has been a joy to work with acrylics after a very long time, as you know from my previous videos. However, working on paper has been challenging, and what I'm looking forward to now is to see how different colors behave on this paper after applying gesso. And I'm really happy I applied the same color palette on this side of the paper, because now I have page 20 with these colors and page 21 with these colors. So I can easily compare what exactly has been happening here. So yeah, sketchbook being a playground for me. So I'm experimenting, I'm having fun. Yes, I did have a tiny bit of a worry here because I've never really applied gesso on paper, and I'm aware that gesso can be applied on any surface. So I'm not sure why I was feeling a little bit like I had a little bit doubts. But the thing is, it's a sketchbook, it's a playground, and the only way to find out if it was working or not was by doing it, was by facing whatever happens on the paper, right? So I did it, and I'm extremely glad I did it. However, just to let you know, while painting this, I was like always listening to a story online. I love listening to podcasts and audiobooks, and I was so happy when I was painting this one. I kept looking on the left side, and I kept feeling that there was a difference in here. The vibrancy, I loved the vibrancy on this page, and I was having fun. However, later on, when I let the paint dry on the paper, I did come back to it to see how it went, and I did realize that couple of things I did not like how it came out, and I fixed them. I made some changes in this painting, And it was so easy to do that. I know in the earlier case it was also kind of convenient. It was not exactly an issue. However, having applied the gesso made it so much more easier for me to fix those mistakes or make changes. I won't say fixing the mistakes, I would say changing what I saw in there. And I did that. And what I did was, I, as always, forgot to film it. And I just realized, there's no point, because it was anyway a very long video, and there would be a lot of disconnect in the videos. So what I did was, I went ahead and I made those changes, and I took a picture and I added the pictures in the end of this video. So you will be able to see the slight changes that I made. I But I loved it. I loved the process, because that is what I do when I am working with acrylics. It makes me feel comfortable to make changes. Mistakes can be erased. I can add more stuff in my paintings. I can remove things from my painting, and it was so much more easier. Definitely felt a difference, and I think it's probably got to do something with the paper, because I did find out, I did take out the smaller painting that I made on another white paper. So that was a wonderful experience, and there was no gesso on it. And however, I think it is just something to do with this particular brand of paper, and it is fine. Definitely nothing against the paper. Totally all right. It was just that since I have experience with acrylic in a certain way, I was just not able to see that being done on the paper. That was it. So definitely recommend this paper. And now I'm actually feeling curious, like what would have happened if I had applied watercolor in this. Yeah, talk about experimenting, but I'm not going to do that. I will not do it right now. Right now I'm going to focus on my acrylics, and I will come back later and see if I have any other sketchbook, watercolor sketchbook, that has a slight tint to it. And then maybe I can try applying watercolor on it and see what happens, right? That's what sketchbooks are meant for: experimenting, having fun, letting go of your emotions, letting go of your feelings, forgetting the world, and just be present at that time. And that is exactly what was happening to me when I was painting this. I felt so good after such a long time. It felt amazing. It was definitely feeling great. In the earlier 20 pages I felt great, yes, absolutely. But this one was amazing, because I could see the vibrancy in the colors. I'm not sure if my camera is picking up the vibrancy in here, but that's all I have. This is the only camera I have, and I've tried to film it in different parts of my house. However, I'm getting the same results, but in real it is looking so much more vibrant. So what I intend to do is, once I finish my sketchbook, I will definitely compare what has been happening in the first 20 pages and what has been happening on the next 20 pages. And hopefully this video will inspire you to pick up your brush, pick up your art supplies, and fearlessly experiment on your sketchbooks. Guys, you never know what a wonderful feeling you might just come across, like I did. I really wasn't very sure. I was experimenting. I wanted to know, so I dived straight in, and I do not regret any bit of it. Loved every bit of it. And yeah, that's the purpose of painting every day. That's the purpose of using up your art supplies that always help you understand your art materials. And since I knew what gesso did, I just wanted to experiment it on a different surface. Yeah, so I hope this video really encourages you to do the same. I don't have any fear of creating bad artwork. Yes, I was a little bit concerned about what would happen to the paper if I apply gesso, and if I just scrub it over with the sandpaper. I was not comfortable because it's paper, end of the day, not a cloth. So yes, apart from that, I had a fantastic time, and I'm going to keep painting. I hope I will get a bit more regular than I was this week, and get to show you more of my artworks in different mediums that I like to do. And very soon, in this video, you will get to see the photographs I've taken after I finished and modified certain elements in this picture. So if you guys like this video, then please do like, share and subscribe. And until next time, stay happy, stay creative, have a fantastic time with your art supplies. And yep, this is the part that I was telling I posted in this video. Bye bye.